What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. I am Sonia, joined with the guys. Welcome to Friday with the Fellas, Prim and Proper Sports, November 21st, 2025. What's up, B. Striller? What's up, J Train?
What up, though?
How you do?
I'm doing great. And so, of course, shout out to Pink Fanfur, the realest real creator out there. Thank you, Pink, for all the promos, love, your platform, and everything. And thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. And B. Strilla, the great co-host and production team for that Hype Beat Tip, is not with us tonight. He'll be joining us, I guess, once the Cowboys go on a winning streak. J Train. J Train, you got a big game coming up Sunday. We'll talk about that shortly. Of course, Detroit, as well as the Panthers, coming off that fantabulous win, if I may say so myself, against the Atlanta Falcons this past Sunday, that everybody and their mama and their mama's mama has had on their lips all week. Let's talk about starting out the thrillers, the big shot, the mamas. 30-27, the Falcons drop in overtime in a stunning NFC South duel. Panthers quarterback Bryce Young, 448 yards, y'all, a franchise record against none other than the nemesis, the arch rival, the Atlanta Falcons. Stellar production by him, earning him the Offensive Player of the Week ranking. However, he declined that. He gave the credit to his offensive line. This was his career-defining moment, guys. Performance for sure. Throwing that franchise record and 3 touchdowns. Xavier Legette pulled up as well. And the Falcons actually looked like they were going to try to negate Bryce and take him out, but he bounced back as soon as Andy Dalton was ready to put his Microsoft Surface down and get out on the field. Bryce was like, no, I got this. Bryce, the undefeated, the only quarterback in Panthers history to be undefeated against the Atlanta Falcons. Bryce Young, y'all, and the Carolina Panthers edged out Atlanta in overtime, 30-27, tightening the division race with them now, with the Bucs losing their game against the the Bills on Sunday. Now a half game behind them. Because that's actually in the list of stuff I'm talking about tonight, not my preference on that. I'll let you guys elaborate on that. I know the last time we were together, we were doing game predictions. J Train, you did say you thought the Panthers would win. B, you said you thought the Panthers would not win, even though you thought it would be a close game. I'm going to divert to B, since he is the one that has the Rotten Tomatoes right now. What's up, Brent? Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Yes, that's right. We wouldn't be a pushover. Thank you, Brent. That's right. I appreciate that. All right, B.
Up, Brent?
Your thoughts?
If you recall, I said that game can go either way. 3 points. I said Atlanta needs to win the game because they I thought they might have got rid of Raheem after that game, but they lose against the Saints this week. He's on his way out. Yeah. So we all know where this goes from.
Right. J Train?
Yeah, I mean, at the last minute, I just felt that they were on a downward spiral, and I think that Carolina was going to come back in and just sweep them, and that's exactly what happened. Very close game, but you saw some serious resiliency. I mean, obviously they took a beat down from the Saints, 17-7 at home, and they needed to bounce back from that. And
We
they
got your
took,
plug on that. We got you on that. I see you
yeah,
plug.
yeah, for sure. But with that said, I mean, Bryce Young. I'll be honest with you. I was a fan of Bryce Young at Alabama. I was a fan in the beginning. I thought he was just having a really hard time because when you're the top pick, you're usually not on such a really good team. No shots at your team. It's just what it is when you're the number one pick. And he's 5'10", has a very very good arm, not a great arm. Like Drew Brees never had a really great arm. He had a really good arm. And to me, that's who he reminds me of. And I think he's going through some growing pains, but you're seeing some signs of greatness that's already there. I think, and then you had other guys, and then when they see guys see him, people like him stepping up, everybody else comes to play. Like you said, Xavier Legette. Look, he got hit the most yards he's ever had as a Panthers, 82 yards, 4 receptions and a TD. He looked good. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole offense looked good. Don't get me wrong.
You better say that.
The Falcons. I don't know what to say because they're super talented. But I mean, to me, I think the biggest culprit is coaching, and Raheem and Zach Robinson. They got to go. I'm listening to the radio stations in Atlanta. We stay in Atlanta. I've been listening to radio stations there. They are clowning and clamoring for them to get out of there.
Yeah, they are.
They can't wait for. These are big time radio show hosts in Atlanta that are like just giving them the business. And I don't know. Maybe Arthur Blank gave it to him at the end because he showed respect to Arthur Blank. Arthur was Arthur. What's the guy's name?
Arthur Blank, the owner.
You got it.
No, the coach last year.
Oh, Arthur Smith.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah.
He waited to the last game, but he ousted him immediately. So maybe this is what's going to happen. That the writing's on the wall for the coaching staff here. It's because there's just way too much talent there to be that bad. And so, yeah, kudos to Carolina. You did a great job, and you guys are in the hunt for playoffs. And you go Panthers.
Thank you. Started from the bottom. Now we here. Sniffing at Detroit, right about Detroit, the D-Tweezy, the NFC folks. Let's stick with this just a minute. Michael Penix Jr., season-ending injury, ACL tear. Y'all remember last year we did this show and we talked about him being drafted, and I expressed concern. I should have lined up these clips for tonight for my previous shows. I expressed concern. Y'all remember me specifically saying this dude has been hurting all 4 quadrants of his body. That was like a quote. I kept saying it. All 4 quadrants of his body already had significant injuries and surgeries in college. Why would the Falcons put a pause on Kirk Cousins after paying him all that money and say, oh, by the way, Kirk, we're going to grab us another QB tonight. We just want to give you a heads up. He literally found out on draft night. And Kirk Cousins is no rather for it right now. You saw what he did. And like you said, J. Train, down here in the A, they are eating them up. 980 the fan. The algorithms, I'm not even looking for Falcon stuff, and it's everywhere. Every time I go on YouTube, I can't find even our shows right now because Falcon stuff is coming up because they are eating them up. They want them out. I'm going to be honest. I don't think that Blank is going to wait until the season's over. I think Sunday, another divisional matchup. The Saints are coming off of a defeat against the Carolina Panthers. You guys have had a bye. You're rested now. That game is in New Orleans. It's already a very deep-vested rivalry. I imagine, especially now that Michael Penix is not in there, Drake London is probably not going to be in there. It's going to be a shark fest. And I think that Raheem is going to be taking Spirit back to Atlanta, whereas the rest of the team is flying Delta back.
If they lose to New Orleans, they're not even flying back. They're going to Bourbon Street, and they're going to start selling, scalping tickets and everything else, and all their artwork and everything else, like what they do on Bourbon Street. Because that's where they're going to be. They're going to have their little tin cans and tap the bottle caps on the bottom of their shoes and start tap dancing. Because that's about where they're at. They pretty much they don't need to come back to Atlanta because it's all over. Arthur's going to tell them to stay right there on Burger Street, and you can figure something out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think they're going to lose to. I mean, I don't want to get that far down the road. We could talk about it later, but that's going to be a tough one down there in New Orleans. And just to go segue into that right now, what you mentioned about Kirk Cousins, maybe it was a good thing that they kept Kirk Cousins. They didn't trade him. This is probably one of the reasons. What you mentioned about the injuries, maybe that's one of the reasons they kept Kirk Cousins outside of no one wanting to take a bite out of that big juicy steak of a contract he has. And so,
let me be honest, he may not be even starting. They just signed Trask and another quarterback, and they may be still keeping him as backup.
I doubt it. Trask is trash. Trask is there. Yeah, he is there to be the backup, and that's it. Kirk Cousins is going to play
back in the get-go, so that's irrelevant who got him because he wasn't a good quarterback. I don't even know why Tampa Bay tried to get him. He's not a good quarterback, period. He wasn't a good quarterback in college.
They've been misspelling his last name as Trash. I'm so sorry, Trask. I hope you never see this show because this is not personal. I mean, I'm going to be honest, guys. Except for the divisional rivalry, I feel bad for Atlanta because, like you said, they have a lot of talent. There was no way they should not have been able to rebound by now. Like, this is the second, maybe third season. And this is why, when we were doing our predictions in the beginning, everybody was like, I'm just a Falcon hater. No, I said Falcons lose about 5, and then they start to decline. I mean, they win about 5, and then they start to decline. They didn't even get to the 5 mark this year before they started doing it. Now they've dropped 5. And what's up, Pink Fan First, right? We gave you a shout out. She said we left the A with a dub. She was down here, her, Matt Cata, and a bunch of Panthers fans. I was at home working on schoolwork, but I saw the blue, not really a lot of blue. Let's be clear. It wasn't a crowded stadium. It was very open, as a matter of fact. For instance, I was pricing a specific ticket that I wanted and thought I was going to be able to go down there. Friday, the ticket was $253. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not paying that. Saturday, it was $150. On Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, and this is in the club section where the food is included right behind the team. The ticket was $68. If I had been awake enough, I would have driven down there. Food is included. The food is $68. I just didn't have the energy. And I definitely would have tried to make it if I knew we were going to win. But I told you guys, I said, I think the Falcons would be playing with a chip on their shoulders. I want to say the Panthers will win, but I would not be surprised, kind of like what B said, either way, because we hadn't swept them since 2013. Another team, we're going to move forward, the Kansas City Chiefs, y'all, in a disappointing loss to the Denver Broncos. Absolutely stunner. I mean, this is the chefs and the refs as they talk about, but there's no refs. Have the refs all retired since we had our last season with the Chiefs and everything? It looks like Travis Kelce is just not in it. I mean, I know he's engaged to Taylor Swift. It just looks like he's already progressed past the game. 22-19 against Sean Payton's Broncos. Upset of the week, in fact, was what the news media was ranking this one, knocking off the Chiefs with a game-winning field goal as time expired. This loss puts the Chiefs' stranglehold for the AFC West in jeopardy. They may not make the playoffs, Sean. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that I don't know if it was a upset. I mean, they're only favored by 2.5 points. Broncos are going to win that. I picked the Broncos to win that game. They got too much defense. Just alluding real quick to yesterday's game, defense wins championships. Defense can win you some games in the regular season too. Houston showed that. And this is exactly what Denver does. They ain't the greatest offensive team unless it's the fourth quarter. But they're not the best offensive team, but they get the job done. I think Denver's one of the best teams in the NFL.
And that's the problem I have with those two particular games. Houston, like you said, not that great on offense. Denver, same, not that great on offense. The other two teams that lost, as in spite of all the mistakes and all the mishaps that happened, those games were still very close. Buffalo still had an opportunity to win the game. So did Kansas City. It's just I think it's really close. Those two teams, Kansas City and Buffalo, are still going to be in the mix for the playoffs. We'll see what happens later. I'm not sold on the teams that won. But I don't mind you. Like you said, defense wins championships, but offense better start chipping in too because defense can't do it all. They'll get tired at some point, and then you're leaving room for people like Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen to come back and burn you. I mean, let's not get it twisted. Josh Allen, the game before, had 6 touchdowns, 3 in the air and 3 on the ground. So, I mean, that was a great defensive effort by Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson. But can he do that every game? I mean, we'll see.
I mean, they've been doing it every game, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, but their offense has to be consistent as well.
I'm not sold on the Chiefs making the playoffs this year. I think we get a stunner and they do not make it. The AFC West contention is very tight and they are hovering around being eliminated. I don't think we've seen the Chiefs in this low of a lull this late in the season in a very long time. So I feel like we are not going to be seeing the Chiefs. They may make the wild card. I guess you guys can count that. But as far as the stellar Chiefs that we saw, definitely AFC contenders, I don't see that happening. I just see a different Chiefs. I don't know what the actual issue is. Like I said, I don't see the desire, the want to be there in Travis Kelce anymore. He doesn't move the same speed. He doesn't even have the same energy. Like it doesn't even come from what I normally see as, and I'm just looking from at home because I don't ever see them in person. But I just don't really see that. And I just feel like this is one of those situations that this just may be their year to take the time off. Take that break. You're not going to be there this year.
I don't know. I don't think that they're not going to be there. As long as you have Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, I can't even you forget Travis Kelce. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, he's great, probably the greatest tight end in their history. Mind you that I don't want to say that and offend Tony. What's Tony? Tony's I can't. Huh?
Tony Gonzalez and
Tony Gonzalez. Yeah. But I mean, in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs, there's 2 great tight ends there. I mean, so he's just getting old. At some point, Father Time just wins. I mean, and it's winning for him, but not for Patrick Mahomes, not for Rashee Rice. There's a few other players there. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody has injuries. I just think that with Andy Reid and Mahomes, they're still going to be in the mix. And let's not forget, this is a team that's been in the mix for the past 4 or 5 years. It's hard. It's hard to get that. I think that's what I'm hearing right there.
It's that cheap hate. That's that cheap hate.
Oh my goodness! But I mean, I think they're going to have an opportunity to be at least a wild card. They're probably not going to win a division for sure, but I think they'll be a wild card.
Yeah. They're not. They're definitely not winning. They've lost. Lost once against the Chargers, once against the Broncos, and at least twice against the Broncos. I'm not sure about the Broncos, but they're slowly fading away from that division title. That's not going to happen. But anything can happen with this team. And they're the Kansas City Chiefs. They've been doing this like James said for the last 4 or 5 years. So you can't count them out necessarily. You can't. And what's funny with Houston's win last night, they're tied with Kansas City for that wild card.
Exactly. Freaking Houston. Are you kidding me? This is what you guys all said, not verbatim, but this is what everybody in the league said about the Patriots once they started to fall off. They were in disbelief. Oh, they won 7 rings. There's no way they're done. They're a dynasty. Well, were they? No. They literally have been scrambling in the last 5+ years to find their quarterback. It looks like they finally have found him in Drake May. So this very well can happen. And we're just here, or at least I'm just here, to warn all of Chiefs Nation that your time has come and it has expired. So you have now been humbled now with the rest of the NFL league that has wins and losses, just like you. However, there have been times that some got away. No matter what it looks like, we look up and we see Patrick Mahomes at an AFC Championship game. They would have to win out to do that. And considering that we're this late in the season where a lot of teams are playing divisional rivals, it's going to be an AFC West Wild Wild West. So stay tuned on that. Another team that got a close call, but a loss nonetheless. The Rams 21, the Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold and company going down by 2 points. The Rams defense, this was a defensive game. You guys can tell by the scores. NFC West battle. These West teams, the West teams are what's going at it. Intercepting the Seahawks, Sam Darnold 4 times to preserve a very narrow victory. I don't know, but when I saw Sam throwing those interceptions, I said, there's Carolina Sam right there. That's the reason why he's on the West Coast now and not in Carolina, because now I finally recognize him. I was jealous. I'm going to be honest, Bo, if you're watching, I was jealous. I was bitter because you were bragging about how great they were. Even when they weren't, they still were winning. And I was mad, and I wanted Sam back at least to help out Bryce. And now I recognize him, and I bid you well with him.
It's one game, Sonia, first of all. And second of all, that defense was getting to him. And it'll phrase over any quarterback when you're getting pressure in your face. And Sam Darnold he's a pliable quarterback. He's not your Tom Brady. He's not your Patrick Mahomes. He's not your Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. He's not in that tier. He's in a like a tier C, maybe tier 2, tier 3, somewhere around there. That kind of a quarterback. So those kind of things are going to rattle him, just like it does any of the 32 quarterbacks in the league. If you got pressure in your face, and the Rams did an absolutely great job on defense. Stafford is just MVP right now to me. That dude is balling. But anyway.
Yes. So, I mean, I would say the NFC West is this year's NFC North. I think 3 teams in that division, the NFC NFC West, are doing a hell of a job. Even the 49ers, considering all the injuries they have had, they still look like they can be a wild card, and I think they're going to be a wild card. They're going to be a wild card and still get in the playoffs. And you have to attribute a lot of this to coaching. Now, this is where coaching is at its best. When you can take lemons and make lemonade. Because right now, that's what the 49ers, it just pretty much is just lemonade. Because they are missing key star players, at great positions, and they're finding ways to win. Now, mind you, Brock Purdy's back. Christian McCaffrey's back. They're doing their thing with them, but they lost Fred Warner. They lost a lot. Receivers. Brandon Ayuk hadn't even come back yet. Ricky Pearsall is coming back. It's crazy.
And I don't know if you heard the latest news by Ayuk. They're going to waive him.
Ooh.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Getting rid of him at the end of the season.
Is it due to the injury or the contract?
Yeah.
Both?
That's due to the injury. So, yeah, that just came out not too long.
It must be bad. Then.
I don't know about the injury being, but I don't know if he's doing his. You know how some of these players are. They kind of la-di-da through their injury rehab and don't do. We've had a couple of players do that in the last couple of years, or they la-di-da in their injury, and then the team lets them go because, dude, you should be on your rehab assignment real good, and you're not doing that. You're being lazy.
He's getting paid too.
Yeah. They're gonna. Yeah, you're just talking about $140 million. Some of that they're gonna have to eat, obviously, because of the fact they're gonna let him go. So
that's rough.
Mm-hmm.
For the 49ers.
But like you guys said, a lot of them have been out. They would come crawling back right before we play them on Monday night, our first primetime game in 2 years, which is crazy. It may be longer. We'll get to that in a minute. Waiving somebody, and is it Brandon Graham that the Saints are going to be waiving, J-Train?
No, it's Brandon Cooks.
Cooks, sorry, I said the wrong name.
That's okay. He's been waived. He's been waived.
He'll come back. They're going to bring him back. He has a contract issue that was a problem with the Saints. Something in a contract screwed him up, and that's why they initially waived him. But now they said they're going to work it out to have him come back. So they
did say they were going to bring it back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was a contract. There was something in the contract that was all screwed up. That's the reason why they had to waive him in the first place. And the agent is working with the team now to bring him back. So they're going to clear up the contract issue so he can come back and play for the Saints. So he'll be back.
All right.
He's still listed on their injury report as inactive. I mean, not out because of the personal matters. That's what it said, but it's really a contract issue. So
he's out now
on the injury report.
In a game that looked like it was going to be extremely close, and I turned away, and I guess it got away literally. The Bills and Buccaneers game looked like that game was going to be close. The final score, I don't even know how it happened, 44-32. Josh Allen just exploded within that last quarter period. This was before their Week 12 Thursday night loss. Everybody's been talking about. Bills have been having a high-flying week, 11 touchdowns, where Josh Allen had accounted for 6 total touchdowns at the end of the day against Tampa Bay. However, like B says, this is just one loss. They are still Tampa Bay, and I am not going to regress in anything and saying anything negative about them that they cannot do, because this is the Bills. And we've seen the Bills do Bills things. I don't know what happened with them against Miami, but I do know what happened with them against Carolina, even though we didn't have Bryce. I think having Bryce, we probably may not have still won, but it wouldn't have been as bad as a blowout. If we saw Bryce that we saw and we have seen in like Green Bay and games like that, who knows? They could have won. We're undefeated at home, except for the Bills. Like, that's our only home loss. And now the Saints. So that was a chain reaction there. But, Baker Mayfield and them still getting it done. But the Bills, like we say every year, it's the Bills and the Lions that are the teams that are explosive. And we're just like, yeah, but we're looking for you guys to go all the way, because you clearly have it. You're putting up numbers like that in the last quarter, which are explosive plays. And then you look at the same token, the New England Patriots, another AFC team. They got it done against the Jets. Jets actually looked like they were trying to play this game. Kudos, Jack. What's up if you're watching right before your bedtime? Good to see you. Jack's Jets, 27-14, which isn't super, super bad for them. New England is now 9-2, literally rolling that division. Drake May, oh my goodness. I think New England has found their quarterback, and congratulations to Coach Vrabel, who clearly has found his team after leaving Tennessee.
Yeah.
So Vrabel is he's a throwback coach. And not to pick him on him because of the same team that he coached, but it kind of reminds me of Jeff Fisher, or like a guy like who's the coach that does TV now for the Pittsburgh Steelers before Mike Tomlin.
Oh, Cowher.
Bill Cowher. Yeah, It kind of reminds me of that type of coach. He's a throwback coach, no nonsense, hard nosed. He keeps the guys in line. I mean, so you got to give them credit, man. I mean, they were trash last year, and they got a few more draft picks. They traded for or took on a free agent to Stephon Gilmore. I mean, not Stephon Gilmore, Stephon Diggs, and who's playing well. And so them total as a team collectively, they look really good. I mean, mind you, they played some pretty trash teams, but they also played Buffalo too, and they beat Buffalo as well. And so you can only play who's in front of you. I like New England. I like, but I don't know. Beware of them in the playoffs. I don't know if they're young. They got a lot of young players. Do they have enough experience to go in and win a wild card game, or a division round game? I don't know. We'll see. But I like the direction they're going in.
Yeah, really good. Other notable scores, because we're at the halfway point of our show now. Thank you everyone for the likes, love, comments, and everybody's coming in tonight, and our YouTube audience. I almost forgot to give you guys a shout out. Good to see you guys as well. B, we got to talk about this. The Eagles and Lions matchup, big game that everybody was looking forward to. Close game, but one score game that ended the Lions win for the night, 16-9. Do the Lions bounce back for this, or was this a good game? Like, what were your thoughts overall when watching this game?
I just think that Dan Campbell did not call a good game in the beginning, and that's what kind of snake bit the Lions for the rest of the game. We do like his aggressiveness on fourth down, but dude, come on. You got to understand where you're at, what kind of game you're playing, and going for it every dang time on fourth down and then not doing it because you don't have a good play call. And then one time they went for it on a fake punt, and Philadelphia's defense is out there. How you don't see that? That's what I'm saying. How do you not see that? Their defense is still out on the field and you're in punt formation. Dude, that means they know what's going on. So you already got defeated on that point. The positive things I take out of this game, that's the most I've ever seen somebody stop that tush push. They were killing that tush push.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia's offense is whack. Their offense is bad. And this is why I had, this week in our pick'ems, I picked Dallas because I just don't. They can't score. They're not good. I mean, the defense for the Lions was playing phenomenal, nevertheless. But their offense is just, and Brown is like, I don't think he's focused. I really don't think he's focused out there. I think he's got his mind somewhere else now.
He's been all over.
I don't know, B. I don't know. They're 8-2, man, and they're leading the conference. They're the number one team in the conference.
Yeah, that's fake.
How? You can't fake your way to the top.
They lost against the Giants, and they didn't lose against.
Well, you can fake your way to the top, round and around.
Ass beat by the Giants, and then on top of that, they went and they lost to the Denver Broncos. That's why I said the Denver Broncos are probably the best team in the NFL right now. And they lost.
But that's the AFC, though. Yeah, that's the AFC. I mean, look.
Denver come all the way from the West Coast.
But look at the disarray Kansas City was in last year. They should have lost half their game, and they still got to the Super Bowl. My thing is, if you're still winning, a win is a win. You can't fake that many wins. 8-2 is still 8-2. I don't know. I'm not going to just discredit them, man. I get there's some disarray in there, but it's different. It's different from when they were in 2023. They're not the same team. They're still finding ways to win. That's resiliency. You got to give them some credit in there because yes, even in the midst of what the issues they got with AJ Brown, there's a lot of talk in the media that the players don't like Jalen Hurts. The coaches don't like him. Jalen came up and said, look, nobody came to talk to me about anything. We're still going to try and learn from everything that's going on right now and try to win. I love his response. My man is 16 touchdowns to 1 interception. Whether you like him or not, he's got 1,995 yards, 16 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he ran for 6. He's playing still good ball, regardless of whether people think he's not getting the certain players the ball or whatever. He's finding ways to get it to win. Their defense is still good. Saquon Barkley's running for 3.8 yards a clip. He's not the same 2,000 yards. I think some of that is their offensive line. Some of it is the offensive line. And maybe the play caller, maybe the fact that they don't have Kellen Moore there. That might be a big issue there too regarding their offense. But they're still finding ways to win.
You can really kind of fake the funk in the regular season, but it's the playoffs that's going to make a difference. And I just don't see them advancing in the play. The play calling is the big issue. That offensive coordinator is not good. And what's his name? Pachugo or whatever his name is. Yeah, he ain't a good offensive coordinator. And this is the problem that if you notice, this is the problem that Philadelphia had the prior year before they went to the Super Bowl when they had a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator. And then they tried to bring Matt Patricia in there at the end of the season. He just messed everything up more.
Not Patricia.
Patricia, yeah. So, You could say that. I mean, yes, they're
Patricia.
winning games. Fool's gold can sometimes happen, even with teams that are got a record like that. I don't believe in Philadelphia. I don't believe in the Lions either. I'm not just putting this on Philadelphia. I don't believe in the Lions right now. They got to do something with that interior line, or they're not going to go in. They're not going to win no playoff games. I'm going to tell you that right now. They might get in the playoffs. They can win the division, but they're not going to go further if they don't fix that interior offensive line. And it's same. Basically, every team in the NFC North, I don't believe in. I don't. There's no team that's standing out right now saying, "Oh, we're going to be good," because Chicago's going to mess up. They barely won 2 damn games. One was because the Giants decided to give up in the fourth quarter because they lost Dart because they were killing Chicago with Dart. And then in the previous game before that, they barely beat Cincinnati. And the only reason why I lost to Cincinnati because Cincinnati can't tackle a tree. So, I mean, Green Bay's got the same problems. Their offense is bad. They got a good defense. Their defense is great, but their offense is trash right now. They're not playing well. Minnesota, don't even get me started on Minnesota. That quarterback situation is just bad for them. So every team in the NFC North's got problems right now. I mean, we'll probably be beating up on each other and getting the playoffs, and it'll be like the last year where every one of our teams they got in the playoffs lost the first round. That might be what you see this year too.
I'd be so gleeful if the Panthers were the one to come up there and upset whoever the NFC North person is. I'd be so gleeful. You'd have to change the password for me to log on to get rid of me on this show for that to happen.
You have to press your brakes on that one, but okay.
Okay, well, we love it. That's when we thrive, is when we're doubted. We don't want nobody to go for us. Speaking of going for it, 49ers 41 over the Cardinals 22. No surprise there. Just blown out. And the Bears and Vikings in the NFC matchup, only 2 points difference. Bears peeking by the Vikings despite their quarterback woes. Ravens and Browns. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about this with Shedeur Sanders getting his NFL start, not to start the entire game, but because of Dylan Gabriel being in concussion protocol, he was brought into this game. Ravens barely got by. As a matter of fact, Lamar Jackson got injured during that game, even though he's expected to be ready for his next matchup here. 23-16 only. I saw a couple of passes Shedeur passed. One of them, I think they called it back. He was supposed to have a touchdown. That's the one I really paid attention to. They said it wasn't really a touchdown. He looked defeated on the sidelines to the point he didn't even get off the bench at the end of the game to go and greet or, bid farewell, what have you, to the opponent. And one of his friends, I'm assuming from Colorado, went over to the bench and actually spoke to him. But he is getting his first NFL start here on Sunday. I do want to get you guys' thoughts on that whole situation, as Cleveland is in a position that they are now being forced to acknowledge that he is there. However, I saw a play where his entire O-line exposed him and allowed him to be not protected in the pocket during a play. I personally feel bad for him now because I feel like Cleveland needs to trade him to a team that would actually appreciate him. It is one thing to get through the draft and to see all the theatrics that involve that. And I had my own personal thoughts on that. But now I'm like, okay, at the end of the day, he's in the NFL. He clearly has some level of talent to be there. If you're not going to appreciate the talent there, send him somewhere else that he could be appreciated and embraced.
If Cleveland has to do that, then they should have done that for all their quarterbacks. I'm a huge Shedeur Sanders fan, but I'm not going to sit here and say that he played well in that game. He did not play well at all, but that offensive line is the epitome of Swiss cheese. I mean, they had so many holes in them, man. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that offensive line. I mean, but he held onto the ball a little too long. He started pulling out some of his magic that he did at Colorado and Jackson State, where he'd run and hold on to the ball too long, trying to make a play. You can't do that in the NFL. And so they know the defense for the Baltimore Ravens has gotten a lot better, and they knew to blitz him, and they blitzed him, and he was 4 of 16 for 47 yards and an interception. A couple of those plays, like the one to Fanning, and one to that tight end. He threw a dart to that guy for like 22 yards. He threw a nice play to Jerry Judy as well, who did some nice maneuvering to get a first down. Yeah, and he threw a dime to the guy. I guess he was practicing with in the undrafted rookie that couldn't catch the ball, that 50-50 ball in the end zone. But he did have a lot of misses. He had a lot of misses. He had one he threw in the end zone. He overthrew the receiver that was wide open. And I know him looking at the film, he's going to go back and look at that. But my point in bringing that up is that offensive line got Dylan Gabriel hurt. It's going to get Shedeur Sanders hurt. It got what's his name?
Judkins?
The Watkins. Oh. It got him hurt. It's Achilles.
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson, yes. So to me, the major problem is that they don't have a really good offensive line, and they never did anything to address that. And with that said, they're going to have a hard time even against the Raiders, I think. But I think he plays better. I think he's going to play better because he right now, you know what he has? He has the first team reps for a full week of that. But even with that said, the starter had the first team reps, and we see what they were doing. So it's just a matter of having the appropriate people on the offensive line to be able to get themselves in position to try to be competitive and win the game.
I think a lot of that has to do with it. You're right. You're right about the offensive line, and he's playing with the first team offense this week, as far as practices and stuff like that. So maybe what it is the offensive line. Gabriel moves different than Shedeur. Shedor's more athletic; he can get outside the pocket better. Where Gabriel he's got that little bit of athleticism, but it's not like Shedor's. So they're two different types of quarterbacks, basically. So the offensive line has to learn Shedeur and how he moves so that they can block at better pace. And I think that's what's going to happen this week. I'm not going to say it's going to automatically shift to that and they're going to be great because of it, because they're going to go through their trials too. But the defense for Cleveland right now, I might just say Myles Garrett because it's nobody else but him. He's killing everybody. I think when they go to the Raiders, they're going to beat the Raiders. I don't have no trust in Geno Smith, and he's a veteran quarterback, and he's throwing interceptions like it ain't nothing. It's like Oprah giving away stuff. Here's an interception. Here's an interception. Here's an interception. So I don't trust Geno.
Another bad offensive line, though, bro. That's another bad offensive line.
But I got Cleveland in that game. I just think they can do it. I know they can do it.
Week 12, of course, officially kicked off on yesterday, and pulling the upset again, another week of upsets. The Houston Texans defeat the Buffalo Bills 23-19. As much as Josh Allen pulled up against the Jets, he was not able, against the Bucks, he was not able to do so against Texas. DeMeco Ryans and company got it done. That defensive game was a defensive struggle, as you guys see. It was a better defense that won. Stronghold to secure a massive victory. I know Texans fans everywhere have to be 10 toes today just from that win alone. At home, dropping the Bills to 7-4. Nonetheless, that does not really dampen their chances for playoff potential. With the loss, that dropped them down still to 80-some% of actually making the playoffs. What's up, Nathan? And with the Texans, had they lost, it would have dropped them down to like 30%. But the Texans are none the better for yesterday's game. Were you guys surprised at this, or is this the typical Bills we've seen? I mean, we saw them lose to Miami a few weeks ago in horrible fashion.
No, the Bills are they're kind of reminding me of the same path that the Chiefs are going on right now. They just got a better record. It's like you have Josh Allen out there doing everything. They're another one that doesn't have a really great offensive line, and their defensive line can't stop the run worth poo right now. That's exactly what Houston was doing yesterday. They were running up that middle every chance they can get. what's his name? Marks. That dude was just he was destroying offensive line. I mean, the defensive line. So until they can stop the run, they can run the ball because Cook had like 110 yards rushing and a touchdown. They can run the ball. They just can't stop the run. And when you can't stop the run, that causes issues. And then what happens is when they have to go back to Pat, and let me tell you, that defensive line is like one of the best. They're the number one defense in the league. And they've been the number one defense for the last 4 weeks. There's a reason why. And Will Anderson and Hunter and Settle, they're all getting it done. I mean, it's that team is completely a great defensive team. And that's what's going to win. That they're going to have to rely on their defense for until they get this offense right. They're going to have to rely on that defense until they get the offense right. They
also have an underrated 3 technique, and Sheldon Rankins in there. Sheldon, he was drafted by the Saints, man, and he's definitely in that middle. That makes it tough when you have a guy that can command double teams in there. It's going to leave room for Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter to get free up and take down the quarterback, because they're combined. They're like 22 sacks total for the season, and they're just slightly above the halfway point. So it's man, it's scary. Anybody needs to go up there in this point in the season right now.
Yeah,
there are things about CJ Stroud that are going around too, and this is his what believe it's his 3rd game he didn't play because of the concussion protocol thing. That's kind of bad. Your 3rd game and you ain't playing. That's not good at all. But I'll tell you what, as people was bashing Davis out there, Davis Mills, that dude's been doing what he's supposed to do. He hasn't been turning over the ball. He's been playing within himself. He ain't out there making, he's not out there trying to make the big plays. He's just out there doing what he's got to do. And that's what's stabilizing that offense right now. So as long as Mark's still
he's a competent backup. He's a competent backup.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The game's not the same without CJ Stroud. You actually segued that for me, B. With the 3rd week of being a concussion protocol, that's got to be pretty serious. And so, of course, our prayers are with him. Concussions are extremely brutal, a brutal side point of the game. And so we just hope he can bounce back. Most importantly, take care of himself first, because these bodies are these bodies. And whether you're an athlete or a lay person, some injuries, you're never the same. No matter what the recovery is, your body has now suffered this trauma. And certain things, head hits and trauma like that, we're not meant to sustain those on a repeated basis, not even a one-time basis. So these guys go out there and they do this for the fun of the game and to support their families. And, us as fans don't always look at, the downside of that, like beyond the screaming fans. These guys go home and get dressed, and then they have to deal with whatever they're dealing with body-wise for life, or at least for a few days or what have you, few weeks. So we hope he gets better. But you're right. Mills is standing in the gap, a very competent QB, and will continue to be competent. Looks like 1:00 games coming up on Sunday here as we near the last 10 minutes of the show. Thank you, everybody, for coming on as well. Patriots at the Bengals. I just do not see the Bengals being the upsetter for the Patriots. They have been on a roll. They are 9-2. The Bengals are 3-7. Another 1:00 game. Steelers at Bears, maybe a little bit more competitive. We don't know what Aaron Rodgers we're going to get. We never know which Aaron Rodgers we're going to get. Caleb Williams is game.
But he owns Chicago, so.
Chicago, right? It's a home game.
One point about the Bengals game. They're going to be missing Hawk Tua. So.
Oh.
And they might, but they also have a small chance of playing Burrow too.
Chance. He's been practicing.
Oh, that's gonna be a game changer. See, I was not aware of that. Thank you for that, guys.
Not really.
Now he's questionable. Though. He's questionable.
But he doesn't have Chase, so that deteriorates that whole theory right there, because who's going to throw to Higgins the whole game? He ain't gonna do that. I mean, he can do that, but I guarantee it won't be a success rate on that. So he's got to have both his dynamic receivers playing for me to see that going to win that game.
But he may be back. He may be back. He has been practicing. So.
I actually like Cool Joe. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see what outfit he wears. He's always dressed so debonair. Yes, that's what I'm thinking too. Burrow can make the plays happen, but we'll see. And like I said, you never know about the Steelers and Bears game. Colts, the Indianapolis Colts, the offensive on fire Colts versus the Kansas City Chiefs, who are 5-5. They're barely 500. Okay. Chiefs are 8-2. I think Chiefs will drop this one again. This is a key AFC matchup. I do want to know what you guys thought. This game is Arrowhead.
So
that's the reason why they're going to lose. That's why the Indianapolis Colts are going to lose that game.
The Chiefs have never lost 2 in a row under Patrick Mahomes. I mean, 3 in a row, and this is going to be a real tough one. So I think, and I love what Indianapolis is doing, but I just don't see them stealing this one there in Arrowhead. So I think the Chiefs
picked them to win. I picked the upset when I was doing my picks this week. I picked the upset because I don't care. Well, not that I don't care. I don't necessarily agree with the consensus that, it's just the Chiefs. They always bounce back. I think this is a different Chiefs team, and I think they are spiraling downward. I don't know how far down they will go, but I am pulling the upset. The Colts have won internationally. They have won at home. They have won away. And that means they can win in Chiefs Kingdom.
Pull up your glass. Let me see all that haterade you got there. Because that's definitely what's going on now. No, I said, what you got in your cup down and sitting on the table?
It's just water.
There's some haterade.
The purest form of truth. The purest form of truth.
No. You said this last year too, and the boy went to the Super Bowl. Now, mind you, I picked the Eagles to beat them. Yes.
They weren't 5-5 last year either, though.
But you were still saying they were going to lose.
And they're not Super Bowl champs. That's what the biggest thing that counts. And they won't even get there this year. They won't even get to the AFC Championship this year. They won't.
No, don't let the Chiefs catch a heater. If they start catching a heater, it's going to be over with.
It's so weird.
They ain't going to win. They ain't going to win the division.
Actually, they actually have an easier schedule than the Panthers do. I forgot to plug in that everyone talked about the weight of the schedule. The Panthers have a more difficult schedule than any other team in the league for the remainder of the season. I don't know why. I guess that's credit for us going on Monday Night Football, but the Chiefs don't have that, so they should be catching fire. Let's move on here really quickly. The the Vikings at the Packers, another NFC divisional matchup. I don't know. Vikings are 4-6. This game is at the Packers. You just never know which Jordan Love and company you're going to get. Even though it's at Green Bay, you can't even say home field advantage anymore. What do you got? What do you think, B? That's your division up there. Both of those guys are in your division. What do you think?
Who were you talking about? He went out. My Bluetooth was going nuts. Damn you!
Oh, it really did. Vikings and Packers game.
What game were you talking about? What's
Vikings and Packers. I know you don't like neither one of them. So are you really being serious right now?
Vikings and no, I didn't hear you. You cut out because my Bluetooth went out. That's going to be a good game. Vikings need to win that game because if they don't, they're finished. They're just finished because there's no way they're going to come back in that division. Green Bay needs to do the same thing. They need to win too because they need to stay ahead. With that little crappy tie they got. So I mean, it's going to be a good game. If Grenard plays for Minnesota, I think Minnesota has a chance, the linebacker. And Josh Jacobs is going to be in a limited role because he's not going to be playing, he's going to start, but he's going to be in a limited role. So that's going to hurt Green Bay a little bit. And their
Isn't he hurt?
line,
he's hurt?
Yeah, he's hurt.
But he's actually still playing?
Yep, still playing.
Wow.
And they have Who else is out for Green Bay? Green Bay's got their centers out for the year, so that hurts them. So this is going to be a good game. This is going to be whoever. It's a test of wills. I gave it to Green Bay because it's in Green Bay, but it's a division rival game. Minnesota is on the edge right now. They got to win this game. If they don't win, like I said, they don't win this game, it's over for them.
It's definitely over. And then let's talk about our other favorite team. This is going to be the game of the week right here. I hope that every claw is out. The Giants and Fern, we know you're available. We don't know why you've absconded yet another show. You've been unavailable all year conveniently. You don't want to show up for this one. I hope you're listening, even if it's the replay. The Giants, 2-9, garbage as they are, dumpster fire with no coach, everything, just garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. The Tinies are nothing but garbage. They are playing the Lions, the prideful Lions, in Detroit. There'll probably be 2 specks of Giants fans in the building because they know what they are. They're garbage. 2-9 against the Lions, 6-4. There's no discussion about that. I hope that every claw that the Lions possesses or ever thought of possessing pokes the heck out of those Giants, and they go ahead and fall 2-10. We probably will see A-Train lead the group chat at that point because it's so amazing for those of you who don't know, because we all have a group chat, so we talk about this from time to time. Back in April, and this is definitely emotionally driven. This is not hate. This is factual. A-Train talked about how the Panthers were going to be so bad back in April. I mean, no one was even talking about teams that were going to be whatever. He just couldn't let it go. Oh, sis, you better hope y'all win 1 game. Oh, you better hope you win 2 games. Blah, blah, blah. Brother, you have 2 games win as of week 12. You're garbage. And you will continue with a 2-game win streak for a very long time. Probably for the remainder of the season. Be glad you weren't on the Panthers schedule this year. Lions roar 34-7 is my prediction of that game.
That's a big prediction.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they're gonna. I believe they're gonna win because they never lose 2 games in a row. The Lions, that is. But until I have confidence in that interior line, and Giants defense is there. I mean, they play sometimes. They can play good games. They almost beat Chicago. Well, I let that game slip away. They beat the crap out of Philadelphia, so they have it in them to play games. And I was one of the ones that said that they when Fern was saying stuff about the Lions and say, yeah, you'd be lucky if you win any of your first 8 games. Well, they shut me up on that one because
thank you for having my back. You were right.
They won 2 games.
You said the Giants have good defense and they can play good games, but they also let big leads go as well. Yep. I mean, 33 points to the Broncos. You know, they let
in the last quarter.
Yeah, that's what got Dabo fired. I mean, just not finishing games. Same kind of the same situation, and that's what's the irony is that 2 of our guys that are on the show, both their teams are doing the exact same thing,
and they miss. Can't see them. But we show up. Speaking of,
I think what it is too.
They're making a sequel to Missing in Action with Chuck Norris. So, we're not going to see them for a while,
Yeah, they got to win 2 in a row, then they'll be everywhere. Seahawks at Titans are going to be playing. Titans only won 1 game. That's another. The Jets, another 2-8 team against the Ravens. I don't see that one. 4:00 game, Jaguars and Cardinals, Browns and Raiders. We talked about a little bit earlier on. The 4:25 game is the one I'm looking forward to the most. Some of you will see the Eagles versus the Cowboys in an NFC East matchup. Cowboys are not even at 500. Let's be clear. Eagles 8-2, but it is an NFC matchup. The Falcons versus the New Orleans Saints. They are a game apart, believe it or not. The Saints, we have gifted them a win. The Carolina Panthers gifted them a win to welcome their new quarterback, Tyler Sharp, into the league. We gifted him that courtesy of the NFC South, and it will no longer be a gift. In fact, I've gotten myself set up to see the next time they play. But they are 2-8, and this game is at home, and this is the NFC South rivalry. It always goes down bad. And the Falcons, I cannot even believe the writing on the wall. Literally, to see 3-7 beside the Falcons is like, just to see it in print is shocking. But who knows, Saints? You guys may be tied with them at the end of this game in the Big Easy.
So I'll tell you,
How
ma'am,
confident are you guys?
in the NFL, nobody's gifted anything. But I know we don't have much time left. I think we have a great
I
opportunity
know.
to win this game at home. And but I got to see it to believe it. So, but it's my home team. I'm going to pick the Saints. I'm picking the Saints.
I'm picking the Saints. B, I know you picking the Saints. And just real quick to close us out as we started, the Sunday night football will be Bucks versus Rams, and Monday night, my boys, the Carolina Panthers, are reunited. Christian McCaffrey, San Francisco 49er, faces his former team, the Carolina Panthers. My squad. What's up, Steve-O? We coming for you. Hope you're ready. Brock Purdy's predicted to be back, and all of their injured folks, except for Ayuk that they're waiving, is predicted to be back. Big games all weekend, every weekend. We started this month out thanking our veterans. Thank you and salute to Brian and to James, our Navy and Army veteran. And as we always dedicate each show to our producer in the sky, Mac. He was a veteran also. Miss Linda, we're thinking of you on this first Veterans Month without your beloved. And with that, we will bid you all good night. Join us throughout this entire weekend for shows starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow right here. The debate show with Jack Bistrella and Jay Train, and Sunday morning, the big sports show from 8 a.m. Stay tuned to this station right here. If you don't see the live, we are on replay. Please make sure you still share and like and share the love. You guys have a great weekend. Go Panthers.